Okay. Hey there, everybody. So today we are going to be rebatching our homemade kombucha. I'm got 4 cups of water in this pot, and I'm gonna wait for it to boil. And I'm gonna add black tea to it, and got the big bags. So I'm gonna put 4 of those in there. So it'd be about 8 bags. Some people use black and green, so I usually do. If I do that, I'll do 5 black tea and 3 green tea. That's a pretty good mixture. Me personally, though, I mean, you just play around with it. That's the thing about kombucha. So anyhow, yeah, we're going to let this get up to a boil, and then we'll get back to y'all. Okay, so while we wait on that, this is my kombucha vessel. I save these flip top bottles, but I also save bottles from other brands and stuff to reuse those. Important to save the planet and all that. This is a gallon jar. You see my scobies in there. It has a really handy spout on it, so I can just put it right into the bottle. I've taken these flip tops and I have primed them with a 1/4 cup of white cane sugar. There's so many different things you can use to do your secondary fermentation process to carbonate it, but we'll take the top off of this here, and got a real pretty SCOBY going on in there. And this will actually be the 3rd SCOBY that I have in there. Let me get a light on this thing. Okay, as you can see, well, you might not be able to see, but we still got bubbles going. It smells sour. It smells good. I let it run for 30 days last time, and I didn't want to repeat that process. It was a little vinegary for my flavor. So check it, about every 4 days, 6 days. But I got a lot of nice little tentacles going on in there. Real healthy batch. I ordered this starter batch online. There's a lot of good starter batches that you can buy online. Key, though, as always, is sterilization. You don't want to grow anything bad in there. But your pH is real important. So, you want it to be below 4.5, 4.2, around there. If you can't achieve this, you can achieve it with white vinegar. Add a teaspoon at a time. Keep checking it with your pH meter. Also, I like to save, if I do let my batch run really long, I like to save that vinegar, some of that, and I keep it in the fridge just in case. And this way you achieve that full kombucha flavor without, putting that white vinegar in there. It kind of changes the flavor a little bit. But all right, we're waiting on that tea to boil still, and I'll get back to y'all. Okay, so our tea's still boiling. So what we're going to do is, first thing you want to do, you want to get your SCOBY out. You want to put some of your starter liquid in here, about 2 cups of that will do it. And then, but you also want to get your SCOBY out so that you can give it a slur real good, because you want all that good stuff on the bottom. There's yeast in there, the active cultures, all that stuff. So for your bottling process, so you make sure that you get all your goodness into your bottle, and also make sure that you get a good starter for your next batch of kombucha. Okay, so what you want to do is you really want to wash your hands good. Make sure you get all the soap off your hands. Don't be lazy on that. Especially if it's like dial soap, stuff like that, you don't want any of that to get into your kombucha. This stuff will eat just about anything, but there's also things that can eat it. So make sure your nails are clean. So you could also, oh, hang on, our water's boiling. Okay, so we're just gonna put these in here. Let them just kind of, yep, that's what I thought would happen, is that steam. So you just leave it on for just a minute, because you really want that to make contact with that heat for a minute. And that's the thing about black tea, is that it can withstand high heat. So, so what I do is I usually leave it in for about 20 minutes or so. While it's still hot, we're going to add our sugar, though, to it. That's going to be 1 cup of sugar to 1 gallon of liquid. And so make sure you have plenty of room for your headspace and whatever you're using. But we killed the fire on this thing, and seeing that good color change. So we're going to go ahead and cap this thing back off. Scoot it off to the side because you don't want it to over spark, but you do want it to be really dark and really strong. Okay, so like I said, you're going to reach in here. You're going to get your SCOBY, try to get it all out in one piece. Be gentle with it. It should be pretty solid. Kind of get it on its side. And then, look at that bang. It's 3 layers right there. Okay, now we got our SCOBY out. Now you want to take your clean spoon. What do we got? Yep. And then give that a good stir. You'll see a little reaction there. Everything's getting all nice and oxygenated. Everything's moving. That's what you want. You want to get all this good stuff into your bottles. Otherwise, you're leaving a lot behind. And it will, though, add to your next batch, though. I mean, it'll work off a lot better, a lot quicker. But the point is to get all that good stuff into your actual bottles themselves. So we're going to give that another little stir. This stuff's pretty active. So I imagine when I go to put it in the bottles, it's going to react pretty good. But you don't want to overstimulate it too much like I just did, because I was actually looking at the spoon. But because it'll overflow, come out of there. So I think that's probably good enough agitation. So put that away. Okay, so I can't really do this one-handed, but I'm going to put some of this, about 2 cups of this, into our bowl right here because we need that for the rebatch. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I got 2 cups in there with my SCOBY. Better lat right here too. It's really important to cover this up, though. You don't want no bugs to get in there because they're super attracted to this stuff. So we're going to cover it up with cloth, and we're going to start bottling our kombucha. Okay, so as you can see, we got it all bottled up. Had almost the exact amount. You want to leave proper headspace. I got a little full on this one. But I had a little bit left over, so I partook. Pretty tasty. It's still a little sour from my taste, so I'm going to pull back a little bit on the next time. But the longer you let it sit, the stronger your SCOBY gets. So it's kind of a balance. You got to kind of find it. But by adding the sugar into this, that's going to sweeten it up for you as it carbonates. And as you can see, it's already doing its thing. It's working itself up. This stuff's really good, but it's still a little vinegary for me. All right. So as you can see, in the bottom of this, there's going to be that sugar. You're going to want to kind of stir this around a little bit and get that sugar off the bottom and let it mix up and dissolve in there. And so, you tilt it on its side and look at it through the light, and you'll be able to see if there's still sugar in there. That should be clear-ish. It'll be kind of foggy. So anyhow, I'm going to do that now, and we're going to get back to you. Oh, also, clean this thing out, re-sterilized it. Well, I mean, washed it. So you give your SCOBY, your next batch, a nice home, and make sure nothing else grows in there besides that. It's pretty sour, so I imagine that with my starter liquid I have left over, that's going to drop the pH down in here enough for me. But we're still going to check it with our pH meter. So we'll get back to you. Okay, so we got the sugar dissolved in our kombucha, and what we're going to do with it, oh, and I forgot to mention, so these are 1 liter bottles. So it made pretty much exactly 3 liters off this 1 gallon batch, not counting the starter solution and what I drank in that glass. So 1/4 cup of sugar in there. I do that. You can use fruit. You can use all kinds of stuff to prime it with. But I like the kombucha flavor myself, just like by the kombucha. And so anyways, 1/4 cup, 1 liter bottle, just to clean that up. And so we're going to put these in a warm place. You want it to be around 75, 80 degrees. And so I hear people check their carbonation. They crack the top and then allow some to escape to see what it's doing. 2 or 3 days that they should be fully carbonated if you did it right. But if you don't want to do that, because it could cut down on your carbonation if it's not carbonating well, I have heard stories though of bottles exploding. So what I do is I put it where it needs to go, and then I put it in a plastic bag and just kind of tie it a little bit. So if it does explode, that does help with the splatter, just a precautionary measure. So we're going to put these away. Okay, so I have let this steep for about 20 minutes now. Got a nice dark color on that. Actually, it's been a little longer than 20 minutes. Give that a stir around, and then we're going to take these bags out, and then give them a squeeze, get all the goodies out. And then a lot of people say don't do that. Some people say do that. I do that because I like to get everything out of it. Not too hard though. Don't bust your bags. And another thing I didn't mention before, when you have your bowls and stuff, always use Pyrex glass or ceramic, never metal. When it comes to your actual kombucha solution, this stuff is acidic, and it will have a chemical reaction with the metal, and you do not want your kombucha to pick up a car battery taste. That's not good kombucha, I promise you that. So hang on, let's get rid of these bags. And we're back. Okay, so we still have our hot tea right here. So what we're going to do is, while it's hot, this will help the sugar dissolve. We're going to put a cup of sugar into our tea, and then we'll discard that. Okay, we're going to give that a stir. I did not get an implement. Hang on. Okay, we're going to give that a stir. And then you'll be able to feel those granules on the bottom. Sometimes I'll even take this and just put it right into the fermenting jar and just kind of stir it around real good. Okay. We're going to add this to our kombucha jar. Be right back. Okay, so we put our hot tea into our kombucha jar. As you can see by the steam, though, it's still way too hot to put our kombucha in there. But by dissolving the sugar in the hot water, saved us some time. So what we're going to do is we're going to add enough water to it to cool this down to a proper temperature. And anything over 85 degrees, you're taking the risk of harming your SCOBY. So you really want to make sure that this stuff is cooled down enough that you don't hurt it. So we're going to put the water in there. Do this one-handed. You want to be sure to leave enough room though, so you can add your SCOBY and your starter solution to it, and then you can always add more water, but you want to make sure you leave enough headspace in there. And what I do is I try to leave it close to the neck. That just gives you a wider base for your SCOBY to grow in. Now this is already cooled down a pretty good amount, but we're going to check it with a thermometer. Hang on. Okay, so we checked it. It's good to go. It's cool to the touch. Also, if you don't have a thermometer, you take your wrist, put it up against the side. If you can't hold it there, it's still way too hot. But I mean, it's nice and cool down by what the water we add in. So now we're going to wash our hands again. That's really important, and get all the soap off again. And we are going to add our SCOBY to its new environment. Okay, we're going to introduce our SCOBY to its new environment. So clean hands, all the soap off, reach in there. You can also use gloves too. I like to be a little bit more personal with my SCOBY though. So then you take your SCOBY, put it in there, let them get to floating. Then you take your starter solution out of the bowl, pour it in there. Okay, we still have a little room in there, so we're going to top this up. Give me a second. Okay, So we topped the water level up, and then we took our pH meter and we tested this. And a good way to make sure that your pH meter is on is you can take it, put it in white vinegar, and white vinegar should show up at 2.5 or 2.50 depending on your meter. If it's not, you wait for it to adjust to what it is, but then you adjust the math depending on if it's under or over. That's just a good way to make sure that your pH is on. So anyway, so yeah, this is pretty much done now. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover this with a clean cloth. Never ever use paper towel. Paper towel has stuff in it that will get in your kombucha and it'll make it do weird things. A lot of bleach and stuff like that too. But this stuff is pretty potent. It will eat just about anything that goes in this jar. So we put a clean cloth over it, secure that with a band, and yeah, then we that keeps the bugs out and allows it to breathe. And so that's what you want. But you can leave it up to 30 days if you want to. If you like it real stout, the chances of it fermenting though are, you run out of fermentation process the longer you hold it. But yeah, check it every 4, just by tasting a little bit of it at a time, every 4 to 6 days or so, depending on you. And then once you reach your desired flavor, remember you do have to prime it with sugar. So it's just a gamble. I mean, not gamble. It's just a different combinations, different people, different flavors, and all that stuff. And so yeah, we're gonna let this sit. I let my last batch go for 19 days. It was still a little sour for me, so I'm gonna adjust for that. But I really hope this video helps. And you guys got any questions? Give me a holler.